back to my channel. It has been so long since I've sat down and filmed. So Walmart has a brand new line of makeup called Kokie Cosmetics. You guys have probably already seen it before. So I went and I got a bunch of stuff to do a full face makeup tutorial, kind of give you guys some first impression thoughts. I have had these products for a week, so I have been testing them out here and there. There are a couple of things that I haven't really played with, so it's going to be like true blue first impressions, but for the most part I have an idea. So right off the bat, the packaging is very eye-catching and very cute. It's got this like black and white zebra looking packaging. The prices are more on the high-end side of the drugstore. They're up there with like NYX and L'Oreal. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the eyes. So we're going to start off with this eyeshadow primer. This is the Prep Up eyeshadow primer, and it says that it has coverage, but it looks pretty translucent and sheer to me. But here's what one eye looks like with the primer versus no primer. So it does conceal and brighten just a little bit. I would say this just kind of evens out your eyelids. I've had this on for literally like 35 seconds and it's already creasing, but I mean, if you set it, it doesn't really do that. I don't think it's very promising. The next thing I got is their eyeshadow palette. They do have 6 different shades of these, and this runs for $10. So this one is in the shade Master Essentials. Here is what that looks like. I actually haven't used this yet. So it has like 3 matte shades and the rest are shimmer shades, and I'm just not really a big fan of the packaging and the layout because this does look pretty cheap in my opinion. I feel like this looks very childish, like play makeup, and I just don't really like the assortment of colors just because I don't know, they just don't seem to work very well together. So I'm gonna swatch a few for you guys. So here is the matte like skin tone colored eyeshadow. That one's not too bad. I'm gonna swatch this one right here in the middle. This is a shimmery champagne color. Again, just not a lot of pigment. You can't even see it. Let's swatch this like royal blue in here. See, I just don't feel like the blue fits in with this, but I don't know. So there's what it looks like. It's pretty patchy. And then we'll swatch this like rustic red color down here. That one seems like it has a little bit more pigment than the rest. So yeah, that one's not too bad right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the eye primer, which has creased again with the matte skin tone colored eyeshadow in here. I'm just gonna take that on a big fluffy brush and pat this all over. I'm hoping that this is the type of palette that just works better with brushes instead of your fingers. So this one right here in the middle looks like a satin like lavender purple shade, but when you swatch it, it actually looks more matte. So I'm gonna try to use that as a crease shade. Then there's this ugly like bluish gray color right here that looks like a shimmer. I wonder what it looks like when you actually swatch it. Oh my god, it's so ugly. Okay, so I'm gonna go into this matte lavenderish purple now. I'm gonna put this in the outer V and kind of drag it up through the socket a little bit. Okay, so this is very, very sheer. I'm gonna use the middle shade right here, that shimmery champagne color. I'm gonna tap that all over the inner portion of the eyelid. Okay. Where's the pigmentation, people? I honestly don't know what to do right now. I guess I'm gonna go in with that matte brown shade at the bottom of the palette and put that on top of the purple. Oh my god, this is awful. So I'm trying to use as many shades as I can so I can get a feel for all of them. So I really do want to go in with that rustic red shade that has a little bit of potential. I think I'm just going to start packing everything on in the outer V. Let's just put that reddish color right in, like, let's do like the middle. You guys want to do, let's do like the eyelid. This is like a satiny color. Not super pigmented, but better than the rest. It's not wowing me at all. So let's swatch this gold shade right here at the bottom. There's what it looks like. Oh wow, that's incredible. Okay, I want to use that too, just to say I did. Oh no, I guess I'll just put it in the center. Look right there. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful mediocrity. That's what the palette should be called. I'm gonna take a clean brush and go in the crease and blend all the shimmers together because I look like a disco ball right now. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with that matte skin tone color and put that under my brow. So I'm gonna have to go in on the top lash line with a different eyeliner because they didn't have a black shade in the pencil eyeliners, which is what I use. But I did get a blue eyeliner because I thought where this has a blue in the palette, this would be pretty for the waterline. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a different eyeliner on the top, and I'll come back and we'll do the eyebrows. Okay, so moving on to the brows, I got the brow kit in the shade blonde. This is $10. This has actually become my favorite eyebrow product. Here's what the blonde kit kit looks like. As you can see, you have 2 shades and a wax, and the shades are very, very nice and cool tone. They're not too warm, they're not too dark, they're not too light. And you guys know I've been on a struggle bus for trying to find good eyebrow products because my brows are pretty dark, but my hair is pretty light. I have very taupey eyebrows. A lot of taupe shades are too dark, so they make it look very, very harsh, but this is a perfect combination. I feel like they do a very, very good job at filling in the brows and making them look very full. Here are what the 2 shades look like. This is the lighter blonde, this is the darker one. There actually isn't any fallout. Moving on to the face, I have their Smooth Glow Hydrating Foundation Primer. You do get 0.68 fluid ounces of product, and this was $11. They also had one for mattifying, so I have used this a few times and I can't really figure out what I think about it. It doesn't feel super hydrating to me. Like, I was expecting it to really make my skin look glowy and really hydrated, but this sets and dries down to feel so tacky, and it almost feels like it's mattifying. I just don't really like that feeling. I feel like it makes the foundation drag and doesn't apply as easily. So the next thing I have is a foundation, and this was the most expensive product I got. This liquid cushion foundation was $16. Just take that in. So yeah, this is the liquid cushion foundation. I got the shade 30W. There's what it looks like. There's the color. I really like the color because it's a very nice, like, warm yellow undertone. It's just your typical cushion foundation. It has a mirror, it has your sponge, it has this little door to protect the product, and there it is. So on the display, I think it said sheer to medium coverage, but I have used this one other time. This cushion seems to be a lot less bouncy than the other cushion foundations I've tried. So in this one you get 0.42 ounces, I believe. In the L'Oreal and the Maybelline ones you got like was it 0.38 or 0.50 something. I'll let you guys know, like, we'll put it right here how much product was in those foundations because it was the same. But I feel like this is probably less than a lot of cushion foundations, which sucks considering it's $16. You would think it would have like 2 ounces of product in here. I feel like this one doesn't build up coverage very well. I feel like it does start out definitely more sheer, whereas the Maybelline one and the L'Oreal one for that matter kind of started out more of like a medium coverage, and the Maybelline one definitely got up to a full coverage very fast. I will use the little applicator that comes with the cushion foundation just to show you guys how it works. Usually I don't like them. The face primer has completely dried down. It doesn't feel as tacky anymore, but it also doesn't feel very hydrating, so I don't know. Not a lot of product comes off on the sponge. I'm just gonna like tap this into my skin. This just feels so awkward. How do people do this? Like, it's just coming off my fingers and everything. This reminds me of like the flip-flops that you can't keep on your feet because like your toes like just slip right through it. Color is very, very nice. I do think this is a good match. I don't like it. I'm gonna go in with my Real Technique sponge. As you can see, it did even out my skin tone. It's not full coverage. You can still see my blemishes and stuff. So I think that's all I'm gonna do. This is pretty much the best coverage I feel like I can get with it without using the entire cushion. I do feel like it's like a light to medium coverage. This one does look very pretty and very like light and airy. It doesn't feel like there's anything on my face. It still does feel a little bit tacky and like transferable. So let's move on to concealer. I got the Be Bright Illuminating Concealer in the shade Light. So this one is $7.98, and it pretty much just says it's a creamy medium coverage concealer and corrector. It says buildable coverage and it's crease free. I feel like this is a pretty light coverage foundation starting out, but I'm gonna try to go in and build this up a little bit because it does say it's buildable. So that did give better coverage. We're looking stark white right now. But for the fun part, I found an amazing setting powder. This is actually called the Natural Translucent Setting Powder. This is $10. I don't like how little product you get. You only get 0.18 fluid ounces in here. Here is what the NYC Smooth Skin Loose Powder looks like. It's not a lot of product. As you can hopefully see, it does have that yellowish tone to it. Going back to the concealer, I do have creasing already in my fine lines. Actually, before I use a setting powder, I have a cream highlighter. I got this Strobe Lights face highlighter in the shade Splendor. This was the second lightest shade. They did have, I think, 3 or 4 shades. This is a really, really pretty, warm, bronzy champagne shade. I feel like if you're super fair, this wouldn't work for you, but I'm gonna draw this on and blend it out with my damp sponge. Okay, well, my battery just died, so I've sat here for about 20 minutes. I went ahead and blended out the highlighter, but I want to give you a few updates on the concealer and the foundation and the highlighter as well. Concealer, It's very transferable. It's very creasy. The foundation has set pretty much, and it has completely lost all luminosity. It already looks like it's faded a little bit. And as far as the highlighter goes, I thought I liked this, and it does swatch out very, very pretty. It's a very bronzy color, but it almost looks like a bronzer on me, so I don't feel like this is a good shade match for me. I don't feel like it's a super glowy highlighter or anything. I'm gonna build it up a little bit more just to see if we can get a little bit more luminosity. So as you can see, it does give a pretty decent glow, but it's not as intense as I would like. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and go ahead and set my under eye area, but first I'm gonna go ahead and dab out the creases with the sponge. But I'm gonna go in with the powder on a brush and set my under eye area with a smaller brush, and then the rest of my face with a bigger brush. So before we finish up the face, let's just go ahead and finish up the eyes. So I'm gonna do some eyeliner in the waterline. I got the Velvet Smooth Eyeliner Waterproof Crayon in the shade Deep Navy, so I thought this was gonna be a really nice like navy blue shade. It almost looks purplish to me. I haven't used this before, so I have no idea how it applies, how it wears. Okay, so it's already bothering my contacts and making them dry out. But I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out with an eyeliner brush. I'm gonna go in with the blue in the palette now. Put that really close to the lashes, like right at the root. I'm gonna go in with the purple shade. Let's do the purple shade and just blend. So now I'm going to apply some mascara. They only had 2 mascaras. They had this one, which is the Volume and Length Mascara, but I'm gonna go ahead and apply 2 layers of this, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So here is 2 coats of the mascara. This isn't a bad mascara at all. It definitely isn't my favorite. I would say this is pretty thickening and volumizing. It's lengthening, but it's not as much as it is volumizing and thickening. This is more of a wet formula, so I feel like it's more prone to clumping. It looks very, very jet black, and I feel like it did bring the look together and make it look a lot more presentable. I didn't find that it smudged or flaked or anything the other day. I mean, not anything that wasn't normal. Oh, let's go back to the swatch of the eyeliner and see if it'll smudge or anything. Let's zoom you guys in one more time. Okay, so it's not like smearing everywhere. I'm gonna apply a little more force. Urgh. Okay, so it's definitely not like smudging or anything, but the intensity is definitely not there anymore. It's definitely not as intense and pigmented. As far as the waterline goes, my contacts are very, very irritated right now. My eyes are super dry and blurry, so I don't feel like this is gonna be an eyeliner I can wear in the waterline. So let's move back to the face. So I don't have a bronzer, so I'm gonna go off camera and do my bronzer real quick. Okay, so there is a bronzer, and I don't know if it's just the shade or if it's the product itself or if I just didn't blend it out well, but the highlighter looks like a big stripe on my face, and it's kind of preventing me from blending this out well. So moving on to blush, I did get the Blush Up palette. Here's what it looks like. I don't feel like they had any single blushes, like in just single pans. This is $9 though, so I feel like for 3 blushes, that is a pretty decent deal. So I got the shade Blushing, which is more like peachy coral tones. They all look to be like they're satin or matte, but they do swatch out to be pretty nice. Like, they are pretty pigmented. They're not like incredible. So I'm gonna use this shade in the middle right here, which is more pink. I'm just gonna put that right on the cheeks. Okay, so this side is looking very patchy with the highlighter, the bronzer. So these are pretty pigmented. They are a little bit patchy. Okay, now this side where I mixed the two together right off the bat looks a lot better. I'm not having a good day with this side. This side I'm giving up on. Let's move on to lips. So I got the Kissable Liquid Lipstick in the shade Desire. So this runs for $6, which I think is a pretty good deal. So this is a very, very pretty shade. It's kind of like a purpley pink raspberry, like a muted raspberry shade. Oh my god, this does not match the look at all. I will say I have used this one other time, and this is one of the better matte liquid lipsticks I've tried. It does not dry my lips out. So I've sat here for a few minutes to let the liquid lipstick dry. This is definitely a cream liquid lipstick, but I do like the finish and the pigmentation of it. It's very, very opaque, but I will say when I smack my lips together, it does become more matte. That's really weird. Oh my god. I would definitely still say this is a cream finish though, like a cream matte. So moving on to the last product, I got the Lip Veneer Cream Gloss in the shade Invincible, which is just a really pretty nude shade. I didn't know if this would be something that would be pigmented enough to wear on its own or just used as a topper. So I'm really not a big fan of this. It's only $6 and there are a ton of shades to choose from once again, but it's just not pigmented enough, and I don't know if that's because the doe foot applicator is shearing it out, but it just feels kind of thick and kind of sticky. So let's do a little recap of all the products and I'll let you guys know which ones I think you should check out, which ones I think you should avoid. So the eye palette is definitely a no-go for me. There's just no pigmentation. The eyebrow kit is definitely something I recommend to you guys. The natural translucent setting powder is definitely something I would recommend, even though you don't get a whole lot of product. I love the tone, I love the way it looks on the skin. Concealer is definitely not something I would recommend just because of how bad it creases. It does look very nice under the eyes now that I've set it with the powder, but I feel like that's coming from the powder and not the actual concealer. Smooth Glow Hydrating Primer I will continue to use with other products and see how it wears. I don't know, it just doesn't make my skin look super hydrated now, so I don't know, we'll see. The mascara I will continue to play with. I don't feel like it's a bad mascara at all. I feel like a lot of people will like it. The blush up palette I will continue to use because I feel like today was a very bad face day. But I mean, I do like how you get 3 shades in here and it's only $9, so I think the price is pretty good for how much you get. The Strobe Light Cream Highlighter, I would be into checking out the lighter shade, even though I don't really like the lighter shade. But I mean, the pigmentation on the skin isn't actually all that great. I've tried better. The Liquid Cushion Foundation, I would say this is a no-go. The price is what makes this the biggest no-go for me, and for how little product you get, and also just the fact that it's not super buildable and it doesn't hold up that really pretty luminous finish. As far as the eyeliner goes, this is definitely not something I would be able to wear in my waterline, but I would be up for trying like the black shade for my top lash line or something. And then for the lip products, I would be up for trying more shades in both of these, especially the liquid lipstick. I would say I am kind of getting some like cracky and flakiness like right in the very, very inner part of my lip. The eyeshadow primer seems to be decent, but still I feel like there's better at the drugstore. So overall I feel like this is a very average brand. Honestly, before I sat down and made this video, I was very into this brand. I feel like most of everything was hits instead of misses. I don't know, like today just kind of opened my eyes in a new light. If you have tried any of these products or anything from Kokie, please let me know in the comments below what you think about it and what I should check out next time. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe, follow me on all my social media. All the links are below. Make sure you follow me for updates, and make sure you click that notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you get notified of when I upload. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.